Do you work 18, 20, 22 hours a day, 7 days a week, and barely have time to accomplish or work on your own goals? Do your clients have more control over your calendar than you do? Is your laptop monitor or iPad or your computer monitor and your smartphone and your clients, are they seeing more of your face than your loved ones are, or even your pillow is? If you resonate with anything that I just said, then you want to stay here because I want to help you reclaim your calendar. You need to own custody of your calendar. You need to decide what goes on it and what doesn't and when. So stay with me. I'm Kim Sutton, host of the Positive Productivity Podcast and a marketing and business automation mentor for 6 to 7 figure business and life coaches. And today I want to talk about who owns your calendar. In 2016, I had a major life-altering experience with my business. It was a spiritual experience. I will put a link to the podcast episode where I talk about it, but I was sleep deprived. For a year and a half, I had been working 18 to 22 hours a day, 7 days a week, and I was so exhausted. I had gotten to the point that I was actually suicidal. I don't want to see you get to this point. It's taken me a few more years to get all the little inner workings working in my business so that I'm not working that much and so that I have reclaimed my nights and weekends for my family. And I want to see you get there too. But even more importantly, going back to what I said before, it's so important to me that you are not sleep deprived in your business, that you are not jeopardizing your self-care and your sanity to get your business growing and going. So let's talk today about 3 immediate actions that you can take to regain custody of your calendar. The first action that you can take, number 1, is know your working hours. When I started my business in 2012, I thought that my business hours were from the point I woke up to the point when I went to sleep. This is not good. You need time to eat. You need time to shower, to go to the grocery, to spend time with your family. I'm a mom of 5, and I don't remember any of the memorable moments for my youngest 2. They're twins, but I don't remember when they walked. I don't remember their first words. I don't remember when they crawled. I don't remember any of this because I was working so much in my business right then. I was not in my family. I was barely in my business because I was so exhausted. And I want to make sure that that is not the same for you. So what are your working hours? My official working hours are 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Now, the part 2 of this is to establish boundaries, and it goes immediate with number 1. After you decide what your official working hours are, you need to stay true to them. You need to let your clients and your customers know what those working hours are. And if they contact you outside of those working hours, you need to decide, is it worth responding to them right now? Now, I know that we all want to make our clients happy all the time, but you can make them happy on Monday morning at 10 a.m. when your doors open. Or you can decide to let them know that you're working on the weekend, at which point I need to give you the disclaimer. They're going to realize, oh, I have another question. Oh, I have another question. Oh, I have another question. And it's going to go on and on. I know because I've been there. You can use Google or Outlook or so many other tools to schedule your emails to go out during your regularly scheduled business hours. And this is what I do. For example, I'm recording this on a Monday. It's Next Level Monday. Last night, for 1 hour, I was working. That's it. And I scheduled emails to go out this morning. I didn't want my clients to know that I was working. Plus, it was like really late. I want to be sleeping. I don't want to be responding to emails, but I couldn't sleep. But again, I didn't want my clients to know that. So those emails were scheduled to go out this morning. I'll see text messages come in. But in full disclaimer, and yes, this is for you clients to know, I have turned off the setting on my iPhone so that you can see that it's delivered, but you don't know if it's read. I don't need you to know what I'm doing. And for you who's watching this, the whole world doesn't need to know if you've read their message or not. I have turned on the red notification for my kids so that they know that mom saw their message, but that's it. The rest of the world doesn't need to know that Kim's sitting by her phone right now, and you can do the same for you. Establish those boundaries, though. Put them in your proposals, put them in your contracts. Remind your clients whenever you need to. I have a client who I love dearly and I've learned a lot from, and I would do anything for, but I actually had to ask him to stop texting me before 10 a.m. because he was texting me at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m. I don't want those ching or whatever the notification is going off before I wake up. I'm okay with 8 to 10 a.m., but don't text me before the sun rises. I felt bad for a little bit, even thinking about asking him to stop texting me then, but that is my right, and it is your right too. So, number one, again, is establish your working hours. And number two is your boundaries. Number three is set up your weekly schedule. When I started my business in 2012, my weekly schedule, there was no weekly schedule. There just wasn't. And it didn't get any better even after I started my podcast, Positive Productivity. Isn't that ironic? In 2016, people could schedule to record their show any day of the week at any time as long as it was between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. But what I found happening was that I was recording a podcast, trying to fit in 10 minutes of work, recording another podcast, trying to do some more work, and it was going back and forth all day long. And you want to know what? There wasn't much work getting done. So when I cut back my show in October 2018 from 7 days a week to 2, I also cut back my recording schedule to only on Tuesdays. And now that I'm cutting it back to 1 episode a week, actually tomorrow, I am still only on Tuesdays, but I only have 2 slots a day. And I set those slots. They're 10 a.m., I think, and 1 p.m. That's it. If you want to be on my show, that's when you can record with me, unless you pay me. And you can do that too. If somebody wants time of yours outside of your normal weekly scheduled allotted time for those activities, you can charge them. I have people who want to get on my podcast months earlier than everybody who's scheduling normally right now, or they have a launch coming up for a book or a program and they want to come on early, but coming on early would require me to take time away from clients, so I'm charging them, and that is my right. If they're going to pay for ads for their launch, they can pay for that earlier time slot, especially when it takes me away from paying client time. Anyway, going back to your weekly calendar, if you check back later, there will be a link in the comments for a video I'm doing in a couple days about how I time block on my calendar. I'm actually going to be showing you my Google Calendar and how it's set up to accommodate the schedule that I've set up for myself. But Monday and Friday are content creation and catch-up days. Tuesdays are the only day that I do podcasts, and they're also the day that I prefer to be on other people's podcasts or virtual summits. And Wednesdays and Thursdays are the days I meet with clients. There are other days of the week that I will meet with clients, but those are exceptions, and those have to be scheduled through me directly. I realize some of my clients are still in full-time jobs and they can only meet on Fridays. So I'm willing to make that exception, but for the rest of the world, no. I have goals, I have projects I want to complete for me, and I have client work that needs to get done. And if I am accommodating everybody else's priorities before my own and before other clients, then my business is not going to get to the next level, and yours won't either. I would love to hear which one of these 3 actionable steps you are going to go implement right now. So be sure to leave a comment below and like this video. Also, share it with anybody you feel it will help, and be sure to subscribe to my channel. Now, until the next video, go forth and make it a positive and productive day. It's taken me a couple more years to finally get all my nuts and bolts